Greetings, my friends. I'm Andrea, astrologer, and welcome to this brand new episode of my conversations with Greta about financial astrology. So, Greta, can you please tell me what do you want to talk about today?
I want to discuss about the different time frames and how to interpret the astro influences for these.
This is really a great topic. So, where do you want to start?
I want to start with the yearly influences.
The longer term influences are suitable for investors. They are not suitable, especially in crypto, for swing trading, unless you consider this for a whole year or at least 4 months, something like that, a quarter, let's say, but it won't be for a few weeks even. Its purpose is to highlight the outstanding moments of the year. They are rather important because they can lead to highs and lows that are rare. So since they are rare, something very special can happen around that day. And I say around because their orb of influence is really long, and we talk about Jupiter, let's say 1 month before and 1 month after the aspect is exact. Then Saturn would be 3 months before and 3 months after. And this depends on the type of aspect. It's more complicated than this, but at least you know when you see such a big number, for example, in my financial calendar, we can say that yes, this is an influence that builds up. And each and every day there are other aspects that are short term, especially for crypto, which is volatile. And some of them are positive, some of them are negative. Some of them are really supporting the long-term energy and some of them are against it. So therefore, it is important to have also the short-term aspects for purposes of swing trading, for example. It is not enough. But it can be enough even for swing traders who are very skilled in technical analysis and they can really see patterns for the long term. Then I got also good feedback that this is actually enough. So we do have other influences that are even bigger in terms of their magnitude and also in terms of their time frame. And this comes from the outer planets. Rahu is also considered here because it is a point of destiny, as we know, but it's a catalyst for explosive growth. And Rahu, I would really see it as similar to Jupiter in nature, so 1 month before and 1 month after. And then we do have also the influence of Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. From all of these, Uranus is the quickest, the fastest, so to speak, and I would say we can consider like Saturn even 4 months, 3 to 4 months before and after the aspect is exact. Then we do have also the fact that Neptune and Pluto are really very, very slow in terms of their move. So I would say even 6 months before and after we can feel them strongly. They will be active permanently in the background. So when we see a Pluto aspect, for example, in September, we can say that it will be active the whole year. So let's say from March onwards it will be felt, and you can add that negative influence, let's say it's negative, for each and every day of the year, and this will diminish the growth that can be brought by other aspects that are positive, that are counteracting it, but they are short term, so they are really faster. And this is also a warning for technical analysts who can do targets, price targets in general very well. But it can guide them saying, okay, you have these possible targets, for example, the various fib levels or GAN, and you can go for diminishing prices, so not for the targets that are the most inflated. What we consider else in the yearly report are the influences of Mars. Mars is the fuel of the price action, and it will signify fluctuations. They can be upwards or downwards, but when the price fluctuates, it's not stable, so it goes both directions, but the magnitude of the move upward can be higher than the one downward, and vice versa. And these are active for 1 or 2 weeks, depending on the type of aspect before and after. But with all this, to have even an easy approximation that I think I outlined in the first episodes of this series, you can consider 1 month before, 1 month after. Why? Because this world is really moving at a unprecedented pace, I would say, and one could argue that nothing lasts too long in general, but it is something that will contribute to the whole result. So this is the way you can see these long-term aspects, and the fact that around the day they are exact, they will signify an outstanding event due to the fact that they are rare. So things that are rare in the sky will trigger rare occurrences also in reality. And yes, it will happen around the day. In order to pinpoint the day, one would need to go into all the short-term aspects coming from Venus, from Mercury, from Sun, and even Moon at hourly level to really zoom in and say, okay, that would be the day. And even with this, it is pretty difficult. If it would be so simple that we compute this with the software, I think all people will want to become astrologers. So Greta, what do you think?
Yes, and I think there would be many wealthy people if that would be the case. Can you tell me about the short-term aspects?
Sure, let's talk about the short-term aspects as well, because this way we have a complete view of what the reports really offer. And these are the quicker moving planets that we analyze: Venus, Mercury, the Sun, the Moon. So that would be all. And we look at major aspects only. In astrology, we have minor aspects as well, but we don't consider them because otherwise they would be too many. For Venus, Mercury, and the Sun, we can say that the day level would be the one that is the active, the most powerful time frame. But actually, we can feel them 3 days before and 3 days after. And I think they will be more obvious in the moment when the energy goes in the same direction. So for example, I have 10th of June, which is positive. And then the 9th is positive. The 8th is positive. And the 7th is also positive. So I would have 3 positive aspects in a row. So this means that the energy would build up, and the energy on the 10th will be also active before. So this means that we can experience more growth. And if after the 10th we do have mixed influences, let's say, that go also in the other direction, we can expect that that would be a local top that is not sustainable really. So the whole influences would really be less. So in terms of price action, especially the volume, the transacted volume really matters, and the rule would be that this should be already diminishing returns, but it is also a matter of the patterns and the dynamics of the price action for that specific asset. I do not know if you noticed, but in terms of Bitcoin, we do have the first peak that happens, and it is an outstanding peak, let's say. It is a new high. Then that's it. So it is really happening then, and people would really cash in, so it won't last long. And other assets might be in with another behavior, and in the past also Bitcoin was a bit different. but it is really a matter of asset experience, but the liquidity in the system and the bull or bear cycle where we are, and we have a strange, a very weird bull cycle at the moment in 2025 when I filmed this in the beginning of June. It is really a mix of many aspects that have to be taken into account. So the macroeconomic landscape in order to assess the volume, because the same astrology can trigger other increases, other magnitudes when, for example, we have a lot of liquidity and people would go in with large sums of money because this is really affordable. And in sometimes where liquidity is really limited, then we don't have this. So we need to be aware, even if the astrological aspect would really signify a outstanding behavior. And yes, it is also a question if such aspects can really bring outstanding growth. And yes, they can do that. And I noticed two instances. So one of them is when we do have many of the same type in a row. So 3-4 days in a row with the same positive energy can really bring a peak. If the volume and the interest is there, we can have an outstanding peak, and this can be also a local top. So the most common example is when we have these long-term rare events, but they are not, it's not excluded that many short-term moves really bring this growth. But for sure, we will know that this won't be long-term. With longer term aspects, if we have such a positive influence and we have liquidity in the system, so we know that macroeconomic factors allow and support it, then we can really expect a trend that is ongoing usually. And this is rather not the case for the short-term aspects, the single exception being the conjunctions, which are very powerful, and they will really bring these influences for a longer time frame, but it's not to be compared with a long-term aspect that is rare. And now we discussed the influences of Venus, Mercury, and the Sun, actually, and the Moon is left, and this is basically the hourly influence that we consider. And it is really important because, again, it's active at a certain hour and minute, but the major aspects would have really a time span of several hours before and after. Here it depends even more of the type of aspect, because it is important to take them into account if you want to rely a lot on astrology for swing trading, for example, or even day trading, when you consider also the moon level aspects. And they will not come, as said, at the exact hour and minute, but you can anticipate the whole landscape of the day, their order being very important. It's the most important information you have. Basically, you can use it in order to know when to spend time in front of your computer to do trading. You can have your price alerts, but sometimes the prices, the target prices that you consider, even support and resistance, they are not met. And if you want to scalp, for example, on a day where we don't have much movement, or you would anticipate that it has, then these hourly aspects are quite useful, because if you see many of them in a row and they are in the same direction, like positive or negative, you can really say, oh, it's probable, it's more probable that we will have volume. Volume cannot be guaranteed, and then I can really spend some time to consider this trade. It can also help you to really see a long TA, but at this level you need TA. Without technical analysis and indicators, you cannot really benefit of this astrological information. And you have both of them. You have the current indicators, the on-chain data, all the things you have in your toolbox as a technical analyst, and you do have also the astrology. So for example, if you see that you still have momentum. Let's say the momentum is not all the time increasing and it's also not constant, but the astrology is really positive, then you can stay longer in those trades. It depends also on your risk tolerance and on the price level and the indicators. So for example, if the price level would really be not, let's say it's a moderate price level that is reached, it won't be really a double top even, then you can stay longer because you know that it will continue to go up. If you see negative aspects coming and you are in a long position, then you would know, okay, short term, I look at the indicators, and when you see some weakness, you could say, of course, to exit the trade. So to take your profit and to go and look for the next trade. So this is a way you can use it, but hourly aspects and even day level, even swing trading is difficult without knowing technical analysis. And the yearly level forecast, so the whole annual influences for astrology is also useful. Maybe I used it also without technical analysis, but for those who can do it, it is a nice complementary, let's say, companion to your trading strategy, and this is the way we can use the short time frames and the quick astrological influences. So Greta, what do you think? Do you have any other questions?
I noticed you consider the price trajectory for the whole year in advance. What time frame does it convey?
This is a really good question, and actually I am asked about it by several people, so I think it would be interesting for all to have a discussion about it, but Greta, I'm afraid I don't have time for it right now, and that would make our episode too long, so let's reserve this topic for the next time, and remind me kindly so that we don't forget about it. Thank you all for your attention, for your subscription and liking. It helps the channel, and until next time, be joyful. See you.